Hello and welcome to Dinosaur 101. In this series, I'll be trying to teach you everything there is to know about dinosaurs. Well, I am no expert, but hopefully I'll be learning and you'll be learning too. This episode is about time periods, so without further ado, let's get into the video. So there were three distinct time periods within dinosaurs. There was the Triassic, which was from 252 million years ago to 201 million years ago. The Jurassic from 201 to 145 million years ago, and then it ended with the Cretaceous period from 145 million years ago to 66 million years ago, and ending with the meteorite that struck around the Gulf of Mexico. Now, the geography of the Triassic period, it was all landmass was in one supercontinent called Pangaea. Carbon dioxide levels were 3 times higher, which accounted for the higher temperatures and an overall desert-like climate. There were 0 polar ice caps, and there were 2 main oceans, them being the Panthalassa Ocean, covering 70% of the Earth, which is twice the size of the Pacific, and the Tethys Ocean, which was more of a shallow seaway. Sea life consisted of multiple things. I'm going over a couple in this video. First group of family I like to talk about is the Placodonts, them being the Cyamodus, which mainly ate shellfish and had hexagonal plates of armor, looking a bit like a turtle, not related. And also the Paraplacotus, which was another shellfish-eating reptilian, which had protruding teeth to eat the shellfish, obviously, and it was a very box-bodied animal. Then we have the ichthyosaurs, very famous group of dolphin-like reptiles. The first one I want to talk about is the Shonisaurus, found in Nevada, and it was a very fat whale-like ichthyosaur. And then we have the Utahtsasaurus, which is found in Japan and is the earliest known ichthyosaur and is a lot more streamlined than its cousin. Then we also have the Nothosaurs, which are a primitive line of plesiosaurs. They were the best fish catchers at the time, and obviously then evolved to become the plesiosaurs that we know today. Then we have the pterosaurs. Now, we all know pterosaurs, but there wasn't many during the Triassic period. I'll only account over 2 for this period. Them being the Patinosaurus, which was an insect eater, and it had wings 3 times longer than its hind legs. And we have the Priondactylus, which was a fish eater found in northern Italy, and it's the earliest known pterosaur. Now, we don't know what specific animal pterosaurs evolved from, but it was probably an archosaur and maybe one like Heliosaurus. Now, moving on to the dinosaurs, we'll start off with the theropods of the time. So there was the Eoraptor, found in the Valley of the Moon, Argentina, grew up to be around 1 meter long, very small, and it was a carnivorous dinosaur, probably the earliest known dinosaur that we have. Then there was the Herosaurus, which grew to be around 5 meters long, and was also a carnivore and also found in Argentina, and is a lot more advanced than its predecessor. Then we have the Coelophysis, probably the most well-known Triassic dinosaur. The reason why it's the most well-known is because obviously the Walking with Dinosaurs documentary, and also in a place called Ghost Ranch, New Mexico, there have been dozens of fossils found altogether, and Coelophysis was likely cannibalistic due to babies being found in their stomachs, as well as just being predator overall. Then we have the Procompsognathus, which was found with a crushed skeleton, but we do know it was a predecessor, direct predecessor of the Compsognathus, which was found later on, and it was found in Germany. Moving on to the herbivores, we'll specifically cover the prosauropods. Now, there's 2 I'd like to talk about. The first one being Celosaurus, which was found in Germany, and it ate on the monkey puzzle conifer-like vegetation. And then we have the Plateosaurus, also probably known from the Walking with Dinosaurs documentary, going to be around 8 meters long and 4 tons. So it was very large, like your mother. Sorry. And it ate also carnivores. Now, moving on to the Jurassic period. Starting off with the geography, Pangaea broke up, forming rifts of oceans, small seaways, all of that bish bash bosh. So small ocean formed, and it had created moist, equitable climates and more sea life. Now, moving on to the sea life itself, we'll first start off with the ichthyosaurs, the most notable one obviously being the Ichthyosaurus itself. Now, it was found in the UK and many other countries, dolphin-like body, streamlined, and it was a fish eater. Then we have the Excalibursaurus, quite literally named after the sword Excalibur itself, because its top jaw was 4 times longer than its bottom jaw. So it's like, ah! Nothing notable else to say. Then we have the plesiosaurs, specific ones being the Attenborough, which had a tapered snout, obviously named after David Attenborough himself. Then we have the most famous plesiosaur after the plesiosaurus itself, probably the Liopleurodon. Now, famously, it was misrepresented in the Walking with Dinosaurs documentary, shown to be way larger than it was, but it was still humongous, growing to be around, I think, 10 meters long. And so, if you ever end up 160 million years ago, do not jump in the ocean. Actually, don't jump in the ocean at any time because you will die more likely than land. Now moving on to the pterosaurs, we have the pterodactylus, which had a 2.5 meter long wingspan and was a pterodactyloid. We also have the Nothosaurus, which was a filter feeder, had needle-like teeth, which used to filter feed to eat on invertebrates, and it had a 1.7 meter wingspan. Now moving on to the dinosaurs of the time, we'll first start off with the theropods. Now we're first going to start off with the Dilophosaurus, famously misrepresented in Jurassic Park. Go over that, well now actually. 3 main misconceptions, only go over them briefly. First off, did not shoot venom, could not shoot venom. Modern day animals that shoot venom, like the black mamba, have hollowed out fangs and a gland in their skull or whatever. No room for the gland anywhere in the body, and it did not have hollowed out fangs. Second misconception, it did not have a frill. That was a stylist choice made by the creators of the movie. A modern day animal with a frill is the frilled neck lizard. Very cool animal, not related. Then we have, well, it just wasn't the size it was in the movie. The movie, I think, portrayed it as a juvenile anyway, but it was nowhere near that size. Some people think that it was 7 meters, 500 kilograms, and it was found in originally the US, but it's also been found in China, which suggests that they were a very global population. Then we have the Megalosaurus, the first dinosaur ever named. Really cool dinosaur overall, found in the UK and other parts of Europe. It was a Spinosaurid. I didn't know that personally, and it was bigger than the Dilophosaurus, being around 9 meters in length and 1 ton. Then we finally have the Allosaurus, possibly the most well-known carnivore of the time. A menace to all, 12 meters long and weighing roughly 3 tons. It could run up to 20 miles per hour and was probably only stopped by an adult Stegosaurus or a Diplodocus sitting on it. Overall, a menace to society and ate anything in sight. Now moving on to the herbivores, we have the Stegosaurus, like I mentioned before, around 9 meters long and weighing roughly 2 tons. It had 4 thagomisers on the end of its tail, which it used to kill anything in sight that tried to harm it. And it had plates on its back, which it most likely used to pump blood in to either attract a mate or scare away predators with the vibrant colours. And then we also have the Diplodocus, which grew to be around 27 meters long and weighing 22 tons. It was massive, and it had a whip-like tail that could go up to 100 kilometers per hour and would fucking kill anything, pretty much. Then we have the Brachiosaurus. Now, the Brachiosaurus famously was represented in Jurassic Park in one of the first scenes. Very cool dinosaur, good to be around 22 meters long and 15 meters tall, half of that being its neck. And it weighed anywhere from, I think, it was 27 to 50 tons. I don't know if that's gross estimation, that's what I found. Amazing dinosaur overall. Now, last but not least, we are moving on to the Cretaceous period. Personally, my favourite period, as I would assume many others. Talking about the geography, Pangaea is now officially split. There was one supercontinent called Gondwana, which was a mix of Antarctica and Australia. There was still no ice at the poles. It was warmer, more humid, so that accounted for the lush vegetation. High volcanic activity also meant more greenhouse gases, which then obviously made it warmer again. And there were temperate rainforests at the polar ice caps. Now moving on to the sea life, we obviously first start off with the famous Mosasaurus. Now, the Mosasaurus has been misrepresented in media, especially in the Jurassic World franchise. Not nearly that big, still massive, being around 15 meters long and having a bite force of 15,000 psi. I would not go anywhere near the Mosasaurus. It was the apex predator of its time in the oceans. And then we have the Elasmosaurus, which is known for having the most amount of vertebrae in its neck, being 72 vertebrae in total. It was originally thought to be its tail, That's how long it was. It was around, I think, 10 to 14 meters long, and an average neck length was 7 meters. So on average, the neck was about 5 times longer than its trunk. Now moving on to the pterosaurs. There's only one I'd like to talk about, that being the Quetzalcoatlus, shown in the new Jurassic World Rebirth trailer. Really excited for that. Lived from around, well, the family lived from around, I think it was 144 to 66 million years ago, so around an 80 million long period. Amazing dinosaur, bigger than a giraffe, had around a 10-meter long wingspan and an 11-meter long body. It was a carnivorous, and it would eat anything from, I'd assume, small dinosaurs to mammals. Now, moving on, we have the dinosaurs. Specifically, we're going to start on the theropods. Big three, in my opinion, of the Cretaceous are probably the Tyrannosaurus rex, the Spinosaurus, and the Velociraptor. Not in size, I mean, it's in popularity-wise. First starting off with the Tyrannosaurus rex, which would be around 14 meters, and I think it weighed around 7 tons. It was massive, it was bulky, and it was an apex predator of its time. Had a bite force of around 10,000 psi, a skull of around 2 meters in length, and its teeth were the size of bananas. Now, there has been debate what was the biggest dinosaur carnivore. It was the T-Rex. We base bigness, I guess you could say, not on length but on weight. And people try to argue, oh, but the Gigantosaurus or the Spinosaurus. More on later, the Gigantosaurus was possibly longer, but it was much lighter. So the Spinosaurus was also much lighter and possibly longer. But obviously, there's been misconceptions about the Spinosaurus, which I'll get into. And then we have the Spinosaurus, obviously. It was a fish eater. It was nothing like the Jurassic Park 3 counterpart. It had shorter, stubbier legs, and it was much skinnier, and it had a tail that was specifically used for probably swimming or gliding in water, and it was semi-aquatic, and it was a much more aqueous predator. Then we have the Velociraptor. Disclaimer, Jurassic Park movies do not show Velociraptors, they show Deinonychus. That's just a fact. Also, Velociraptors were feathered. They were a lot smaller than the movies, being at only 1.8 meters long and 30 kilograms in weight. Found in Mongolia, the Gobi Desert. Really cool dinosaur. Had the massive toe claw, which used to puncture vital organs. There was a fossil found of a Protoceratops and a Velociraptor fighting. Shows the Velociraptor being underneath the Protoceratops, having its arm bitten while it tries to puncture the Protoceratops's organs. Really cool piece overall, shows the rivalry, and there's no evidence that Velociraptors hunted in packs, so sorry guys, you won't be seeing Delta, Echo, and Blue fighting anything anytime soon. Now moving on, we have the herbivores of the time. Only two I'd like to talk about. First one being Triceratops. One of the most notable dinosaurs. The T-Rex's arch enemy, going to be around 9 meters long and weighing 6 tons. Name means tri-horn lizard, quite literally. It had 3 horns on its face. Amazing dinosaur overall. I would assume, I'd say 6 times out of 10, it would beat the T-Rex. From herd advantages, and just I say weapon advantages overall. Now we have the living tank itself, Ankylosaurus. Ankylosaurus was an amazing dinosaur. It wasn't a living tank due to size, even though it was around 7 meters and 7 tons. It was a living tank due to the osteoderms coating its body and plates. These protected it from anything other than its belly, and had a massive club on the end of its tail, which it used as a form of defense. And obviously, the Cretaceous period ended with the massive meteor, which caused the mass extinction of all dinosaurs, apart from like a few bird-like ones, and the mammals, and the majority of sea life. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been informative. Sorry, I'm uncharismatic. I will try and fix my YouTube persona. And also, I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, hopefully I don't abandon this channel after one video. Hopefully I even post this video. But have a good day, and thank you for watching.